It turned us into more of a rock band.
That's been 2005, since, well, it's been...
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
4 years ago. A quick recap of the previous album, before we go into the new album. The Back Room, what are your thoughts on it? If I say to you the Back Room, what is the first thought that comes to your mind?
Very proud, really exciting debut album. We recorded it, pretty raw, and we just wanted to get across the songs that we'd written up until that point. Things were pretty much ready to go when we went into the studio there. It was a very exciting time. A young band went into a recording studio with a clutch of what we knew were kind of good songs, and they just had to be. It just has to be taken as that, that moment in time. That was what we were doing, and I'm very pleased with it.
Can you still listen to the album and say, well, it's a good album?
I don't know how much I listen to it, but occasionally I do go back to it, and there's a large proportion of the songs on there I'm really I get into. Good record. And aesthetically I like it as well. The feeling of it, just in general, the whole atmosphere really works. So especially as a debut album, it is what it is really. And
no, but I can imagine once. Well, it's been 4 years since that album. I think certain songs you must have played thousands of times. Can you say, if you listen to the album, listen to a song and say, well, it's changed a bit, and we can hear it's pretty much in the early stage of the song? Or?
There's a few songs that ebb and flow in interest levels, certainly. It's always funny whenever you have new material, you go back to your set and you say, right, what songs do we need to play again? Maybe you've had a certain amount of time off from playing a song, and that comes back with a little bit more energy as well. It's not just the new songs that we enjoy playing more, it's the old ones that are battling a little bit for their place in the set, and they take on a little bit more of a life of their own. And it's far more exciting playing those songs when you've got a new record out than after 2 years of touring. It's natural, isn't it?
Because of the interaction maybe with your new songs, I don't know?
Yeah, a little bit. I think especially some of the songs off the record one work particularly well alongside songs from the latest record.
Can you name a few maybe?
Well, there's Camera off the first record it's a sort of nod towards the direction we've gone to on this latest record, I think. I know Munich as well. It's one of our most well-known songs. People instantly recognise it. But also sometimes when we're playing it, they seem to sort of switch off a little bit after the first few bars. That, oh right, yeah, it's familiar. So that's been reignited. We think that needs to have a little bit more of importance about it, and that's been far better to play amongst the new stuff.
Second album, before we have limited time, so your first thoughts when I say to you an end as a start?
It's very big. It's a very big sounding record. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of texture. Sometimes maybe it lacks a little bit of dynamic. It's far too much loud, big, grand material on it compared to sort of more sedate stuff. But very enjoyable, from start to finish. It's got our biggest singles on. It's very sort of engaging. I don't want to say anthemic, but slightly anthemic record. It picked off from where the Back Room left off. It turned us into more of a rock band, more of a band that could go to not just our own country. It opened doors for us on the continent and to go over to the United States as well. So quite an accessible album, I'd say.